I said, just a recap from Kent State. Wednesday we had to take a day off. Yesterday we regrouped and worked through the film and tried to figure out what we can correct. It's certainly a disappointing result. I thought we had a pretty good matchup against Kansas State, but there's a lot of things we can shore up from that game. And one of the things we touched on the most is probably our defensive rotations. I thought we did a pretty good job in our traps, but our rotations on the backside were, a bit lacking, to say the least. So that and some of our offensive stagnancy, the ball movement wasn't there, and I thought there was a lot of people trying to do too much on the offensive end when we had plenty of clock. So we're working through all these issues, and certainly the chemistry isn't coming quite nearly as fast as I'd like it to, but everybody's head and mental space is in a good spot, and everybody wants to figure out how we get this corrected. But looking forward to a good opportunity. This league is as a bear. So you're looking at 4 out of 5 of the first 5 matchups in the league are ranked opponents, and Texas is as good as anybody. We'll play all year. The reigning Big 12 tournament champions, and even when you look at their rotation and you think about that, you got Dylan DeSue coming off the bench that was the most outstanding player in the Big 12 tournament. So they have the size, they have the athleticism, they have the talent, and they're a really good basketball team. And so looking forward to another challenge, and hoping to see a good showing from Mountaineer Nation, and continue to back us in what we're trying to do here, and we're giving everything we got, and we're going to continue to do so.
So Josh, I think you addressed this a little bit on the radio show last night, but give us a recap of what Jesse's status is, how much he's able to practice, things like that.
Well, I think yesterday or Wednesday, I believe Wednesday would have been the 3-week since his surgery, so it's been the 3 weeks, so we're 3 weeks plus. I think he's got another week left in the brace before they take pictures of it and determine where it's at. And at that point, he's had 0 mobility with the wrist in 4 weeks, so it'll be a fluid situation to determine what the rehab is in terms of timetable from there. So originally you looked at, I thought 4 weeks was 4 weeks to get back to playing, but it's kind of like construction. I tell you 2 weeks and ends up being 4. So these situations, we got to do what's best for Jesse. So we're not going to compromise that and put him in a situation to where they could affect him long term. So we're going to make sure we do right by Jesse Edwards.
What can he do in practice? I mean, I assume, he's doing conditioning stuff. Does he get any shots up? What does he do in practice?
He does a lot of work on the side, especially developing his left hand. I think he's becoming way more comfortable with his left hand, and he does a lot of mobility, a lot of conditioning. We have great people in our program between Randy Metter and Sean. So Sean does an incredible job of figuring out how to continue to work with his strength, regardless of eliminating the wrist in the equation. So Sean Brown and Randy Metter have continued to work with him diligently, and even on the side, he continues to stay locked in with what we're doing, and he's a great teammate throughout the process, and he wants to do everything he can in the meantime, even though he's saddled with the injury.
Biggest concerns with Texas?
Their size.
Yeah.
Their size. We got to. I don't know what Shedrick's situation's going to be. It looks like he had some back spasms in that Texas Tech game and didn't see any action against Cincinnati. But Dylan DeSue, like I said, would probably be if he's still saddled with that injury, would be you know, the starting 5-man, and he's very, very talented. But not only their size and rebounding, which is always an issue, it's defensive transition for us. They're one of the best in the country at going downhill, and you know, so we got to figure out how to get back and get matched and shore that up.
I know winning is the ultimate, but are there some incremental things that you'd like to see from your team to get to the point where you can win?
Yeah, I mean, it's an everyday process, right? It's a you know, we didn't have that chemistry that everybody else did, you know, in the summer and in the normal build up to get into Big 12 play. So that is what it is. So right now we just want to continue to see our guys in the right frame of mind and continue to see guys that want to come in and be a part of the solution. And for the most part, that's the case. And so we continue to want to see growth each and every day, and that's part of where we're at right now. So if we continue to go in the right direction, there's no reason we can't be competitive each and every game and put ourselves in a position to win.
When you look at Texas's offense, is there one guy that you have to take away? Because I mean, they've obviously got 4 or 5 guys who can score. A kind of unique situation there, where it's just not one or two guys.
Mm-hmm. You know, Asmus is the one you probably look at.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's 5th all time and 3-point makes. You know, in the history of college basketball. So, you know, he can really fill it up and you know, trying to figure out who you can, you know, who you got to key on, but also who you can stun off of or dig off of to help your teammates. So certainly that's it's one of the issues trying to guard these guys is figuring out where their weakness is, and they don't have very many.
Yeah. I was that's the thing. You help off of someone, and the person you're helping off of, well, he's averaging 12, 13
Yeah,
points a game. I mean,
they're talented
Yeah.
from top to bottom for sure. So it's got to be a team mentality. It's got to be a team mentality. It's got to be us versus them, not me versus my matchup. We talked a lot about that yesterday, and I use that exact terminology with them. It's us versus them. We can't get in the mindset it's my matchup, and I'm going to guard this guy and this guy, and this is what they do. It's got to be team defense and us versus them.